back to the Land Rover, where today we're installing the rear glass on the Land Rover's back door. And I'm actually doing this on the floor. You may be wondering why I'm doing it on the floor. Well, this is actually the second attempt at doing this. The first attempt didn't quite go to plan. I had the freshly painted door on two stands, on two trestles. And as I was starting to screw something in, the trestle collapsed, the door hit the ground, big dent on the door, big scratch in all the paintwork, and it broke the glass as well, big crack on the glass. So I'm not going to show that video because the language on that is astronomical. So yeah, probably not fit for human ears. And I'm doing it on the floor because obviously there's no trestles to collapse, but I broke the trestle. Completely broke it when it was launched and hit the tree about 20 meters away. So made me feel better, but I broke the trestle. So I'm doing it on the floor. I'm doing it on an old car cover, so it's nice and soft. So onwards with the glass install number 2, a new fresh pane of glass and a new freshly painted door. This is the back of the door. I've just got some of that insulation stuff on there just to do a bit of sound deadening. And we're going to install the glass today, hopefully without smashing it this time. And then we're going to install it and fit it back on the car. So this is how we install the glass without breaking the trestle and without breaking the door and the glass in the process. So take 2. I'm feeling lucky. So to start off, actually there's a bit of debate on the internet about what you use to install glass. Some use silicone. I was just chatting to an old glazier who said silicone doesn't allow the glass to expand and it can crack it, or the silicone just becomes weak over time. Don't know if that's true or not. Or you can use rubber strips, which I think was the original way. I've got this rubber, it's just from the local rubber shop, $5 a meter. I got 7 meters of it just because these windows are actually bigger than you think they are when you go through the circumference of them. So all I've done is I've just cut the rubber out. I've just laid it on the edge here just to try and get a bit of a watertight seal. Obviously the corners, the curves are a bit tricky because this is straight rubber. You want to try and avoid gaps if you can, because that's just a way that the water's going to get in. So yeah, try and avoid the gaps, I think makes sense. And then yeah, we'll just fill in any couple of gaps along the edge just to try and get a watertight seal on there. And then in theory we just place the glass on the top and we should end up with a nice seal. That's the plan anyway. So we've got the rubber strips all around the outside. So far the door hasn't fallen on the ground because it's on the ground. The glass hasn't smashed unless I drop it now. And here's the second pane of glass. The first one had a big crack in it when it fell on the floor, on the concrete floor, when the trestle collapsed. I'm just going to position it just in. So far so good, no bad language, which is always a good start to the show anyway. Just going to lift this up a bit and just move this strip out a little bit just so that it's flat. And yeah, so far so good. So yeah, just laying the glass on top of this rubber strip, nice and easy. And now that the glass is in, I'm just going to lay another rubber strip on this side. I think it just makes it a bit easier when we get the metal strip, just to help force it down. Obviously, I think when we install the metal strip, we've got to push down on the glass a bit to compress the rubber to make it nice and watertight. Yeah, I'm just going to lay these strips around the outside. They're slightly dusty where they got covered in dust and bits of broken glass when it fell. Oh, the language was bad. I picked up the trestle, the shed door was open, and I launched it across the yard, hit a tree about 20 meters away, and yeah, the wooden top broke. So the tree broke it. It wasn't me. I didn't throw it. But yeah, this is second time lucky, and I'm feeling a bit more positive this time. Just got the final strip to put on here at the top, and again just going to do a couple of little corner pieces, just because, I don't know, just a bit of pressure down. Obviously the top corner is not going to leak as much as the lower corner, but this is a back door, and water does blow everywhere over the back when you're driving along. There's some scientific reason for that, don't know what it is, but so that's it. So the glass is in, the glass is on rubber strips. I've got rubber strips on the back. Now we're going to get the metal strips that in theory we're going to push down on the glass to get a good seal. We're going to drill a hole, we're going to screw the metal strip in, and then you end up with, in theory, one waterproof window, or water resistant window. Nothing's ever going to be waterproof because the door's probably not waterproof. And the next step are these metal strips. These are aluminium. To buy them costs an absolute fortune for what they are. They're just a bit of bent aluminium. You could probably do it yourself, but it's a funny angle. It's sort of a whatever degree angle that is, so I couldn't be bothered, so I bought them anyway. Once again, from Paddock Spares in the UK, a fraction of the cost of buying them in Australia, which is, yeah, it's disappointing. But even with shipping, even with the declining interest rate, they're still cheaper to do that than to buy them in Australia, which is crazy. But anyway, I won't go on about that too much. So we just lay them out. We're just going to put them out for that. And then we have these curved pieces. Perhaps that's why they cost an absolute fortune, because this would be a pain in the neck to make. I don't actually even know how they would make it, but shrinking and stretching, no doubt, is the answer there. And these just go on like this. It's not the best shape. They're slightly more curved than the corner of the door, but hey, I guess it doesn't, this side isn't needing to be waterproof or anything. I had to cut the top one. I just took the angle grinder to it. Probably not the best way to cut aluminium, but yeah, you can see the angle of this door. And the angle, it's perfect. I don't know what degree it is, but it's whatever degree. And over here, I've already drilled a hole. This is what I was drilling when the stand collapsed. So I'm actually making a bit more progress on that. And the hole is already the right size. Just pushing down with my thumb, just to put a bit of compression on that rubber underneath the glass. I did that when I drilled the hole. I'm using a tiny screwdriver, probably the wrong one, but I'm just going to chew the thread up of the head of the screw. And that's one done. I'm not going to do too many. It came with 30 screws. There's no way I'm doing 30 screws on this. That'll drive me mad. But I'm going to do a few all the way around the outside. Don't quite know what I'm going to do on these corners yet, but I'll work that bit out anyway. Probably I'm going to need to do a couple in these corners, one here, just because there's no rubber behind this bit on the other side of the glass. If we can just get a bit of compression on there, that should work. So yeah, I'm going to drill a few more holes. Not going to be the most exciting video if you just sit there watching me screw screws in and drill holes, but yeah, I'm going to do this, perhaps do it as a bit of a time lapse actually. So I'm just going to, for this, just going to push down with my thumb as I drill the hole. Now we are going through a small aluminium sheet into the steel frame of the door with steel screws. I expect over the next 110 years there would be a tiny bit of corrosion on this aluminium just with it's touching the steel, but I won't be here for that, so I'm not too worried about that one. So I'm just going to do some more. I'll screw this one in. I'm going to get the bigger screwdriver just to get a bit more leverage. This one's a bit small. I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll see what it looks like when we're done. So we have screws around the bottom, the sides, the top, and the other side. Now what we have left, these corner pieces. The shape doesn't match the shape of the door too well. A bit disappointing considering the price, but hey, that's better than I could make them, as I've said before. I'm probably just going to put... Now I might have to do 3 here. One in the middle, that's the best shape of the door. And then I'll squeeze in a couple as far to the edge as possible. You can see it actually leaves the edge of the door there, so I can't put a screw in there. So I'm just going to do a couple here, I think is all I can do. But, I'll work this out and we'll see how well it holds. And there we go, the last of the retaining strips is on. We've got a reasonable amount of screws on there. I don't think we're going to need any more. It seems to be holding down pretty well. Having said that, I'm just going to stick 2 more in here. I've got 3 screws left. Did come with 30, I've only got 20 because the 10 of them, I don't know where they went when the last attempt failed and the door crashed to the ground. So yeah, I'm just going to put a couple of screws in the middle, then we'll take the door out and we'll put her on the car. In theory, here we have a door with glazing in it. It's always a 2-person job. Today, on the fact that it's 6 AM, I don't have a 2-person. So a knee is always as good as. Just going to get a couple of bolts on these top ones just to stop it from falling off and breaking the glass, and then we'll have a wiggle with the bottom one. There we go, we'll just loosely put a bolt on there for now. Obviously much easier when there's 2 people, but that's boring. Plus it is early, as I said, the sun's just rising behind. Now, what do we do with this? I think the top ones are okay without washers. It's like a protrusion on there. I'm going to stick a washer on this bottom one because that's a hole that I drilled. And anything I do is slightly dodgy. Alright. I'm going to give these a bit of a tighten up, and the door should be on in theory. We'll have a bit of a demo afterwards. I'll tighten these up and we'll see if it closes. If not, I've put these walls on the wrong way, or the roof's not quite straight. The floor's straight, this hasn't changed. Yeah, Bit stressful this. So we got the top bolts on, bottom bolts are on. This hinge is looking decidedly dodgy. I don't know. I'll see what that is. I think this nut just needs tightening up, but we'll have a look. And in theory, we have a door that closes. It fits. Bit of a gap around. Another mosquito the size of a truck. Okay, what's happens is I don't have a door jamb or a door, whatever it is. There's a technical name for that. I've just got this. This is stopping the door closing. I'll order one of these. Yeah, it just goes on same as the front doors by the looks of it. I'll order one of those. This was from filling up oil, not me. Yeah, I'll order a door, whatever it is, door thingy, not a jam, locky thing. I'll take this off and that should make the door shut properly. Wow, I have a door that closes. This latch just about goes over there to hold it shut. Not the strongest yet, but that's fine. I'll get the door thing. This is an interesting thing. The original latch had the keyhole here. Obviously wasn't a standard door, so I've now got this hole. I'm going to leave that there for old time's sake. I've got a hole here. I'll have to get a rubber thingy to put in there. But I've got glass installed. Not going to move. I've got hinges on and a door that sort of closes. Doesn't get much better than that. I don't actually know what this hole was for either. I should have filled that, but I'll just get a rubber thingy, put that in there. Might be drainage if I ever sink it in a river. It'll let the water out anyway. But no, pretty happy. Alrighty, that's enough of me talking rubbish. If you find these videos useful, do subscribe, because we've got a few more coming as we try and get the Land Rover on the road. In theory, we're going to try and take her for a test drive. All the electrics are done. Steering's done, braking's done. We're going to get all the legal paperwork and we'll take her for a test drive on the road when it's nice and quiet. But yeah, hit subscribe, hit like if you find them useful. And that is how to install the rubber or install the back window on the door of a series Land Rover, and installing the door without breaking it. Attempt number 2 worked. Thanks for watching.